What's going on, guys? Living here, and I want to show you guys an 108 kill game I had on the Frontlines mode on Amiens. So with the new June update, Frontlines mode has come to some of the vanilla maps, Amiens being one of them and Argonne Forest being the other one. I found that these are probably the two good maps for them to start off on. Still new to Frontlines basically. I've only played it a little bit when They Shall Not Pass dropped. Haven't really gotten back to it since, but I thought I'd give it a go again. Try it on Amiens here. Started off using the howitzer tank. Figured that I would most likely find myself going head to head against another tank, and I thought that this would probably be the better tank to choose. Being that the shells on this thing are just insane. As you can see, 2 shots there completely have disabled that tank, and he probably had no clue what had hit him, so I was able to take him out pretty easily. Unfortunately, though, I wasn't quite sure where C was at. I was under the impression C would be where it would normally be, like on Conquest on this bridge right here, but it ends up being right down there in the canal or area down here, or whatever you want to call it, where the tracks are at. And yeah, unfortunately, it's probably not the best thing for me to be at with this angle, with this tank. Especially using the light machine gun as well too. It's not something I do use very well. I'm more used to using things like the flanker tank on this map, but like I said, I felt like I should probably pull out the howitzer tank because I feel like I'm going to go head to head against another tank. So unfortunately, they end up rushing me here really quick. They see me here and they definitely want to take me out, so I end up rolling myself all the way back. I can hear footsteps behind me, and I was expecting to run into someone eventually, but there ended up being no one till it was too late, and the guy was throwing some dynamite on me, and I ended up having to jump off and shoot him in the back, but unfortunately they were able to still get a grenade kill at the end there and take me out. So that was a little bit unfortunate, and what I did realize playing on Frontlines here is that they do push you back pretty fast the moment. You know, you can easily get some momentum easily as a team and be able to cap these bases pretty quick. I am editing this and kind of just breaking it out in pieces and kind of showing you kind of the main parts of the game here. Considering that Frontlines is still a very long mode, and I think we go the full 40 minutes on this one here. So I didn't want to post a full 40-minute game, but yeah, so they definitely grab B pretty quickly. And then they were able to grab A pretty quickly as well too, and it's something I did kind of notice, and it's kind of the theme as well with Battlefield, which is that people easily will, especially on Conquest, they'll go cap a base and then they'll go run to the next base and cap it. While they're capping that next base, they're losing the base they just cap behind them. So if you keep that on Frontlines, you're definitely going to win the game, because you don't really have to be concerned about so much about you know, in a sense, not defending that base, because it's kind of, you know, the gameplay is just kind of changed up there. So as you can see, I do a little bit of a flank from behind to get some dynamite kills. Like I said, I'm cutting this and editing this a lot, so there's a lot of the kills you're not going to be able to see, but I do a lot of that right there where I get a lot of dynamite kills from people. So it's kind of interesting. I guess the 32 versus 32 mode, or the you know, not 32 versus 32, but not the full 64 player game. You know, it was a little bit. I guess, I don't know, kind of played to my favor here. I didn't have to, you know, be as concerned of having too many people, you know, so close to me and have to battle with. So I was able to just kind of get away with a lot of stuff that I don't feel like I normally probably would have gotten away with being, you know, one of those larger games that you would play against on like Conquest or Operations and such like that. So you see me trying to push there at the last second, trying to cap the last territory and protect it. Unfortunately, I'm not able to get it, but somehow my teammates out of nowhere are able to grab at the last second and keep us in the game. So that was pretty big, and definitely a clutch play from my teammates right there. So one pretty big thing I did notice when just playing some of the Frontlines is, man, squad spawns is big. I tell you what, because if you're able to spawn your teammates, that's so helpful. Then you getting yourself stuck at the very home spawn and having to work your way all the way back. So yeah, I found that pretty a big deal. I kind of did show this part. I want to show this part right here. I found this pretty interesting. I don't know. I guess I threw some dynamite and kind of affected some of that building right there, but it eventually crumbled later on and killed a bunch of people. That's the first time I ever had that happen. I found that kind of interesting. Usually you have to I'd have to use the dynamite and have the explosion actually happen, at that time and not wait till a little bit later where the explosion ends up ends up the whole building ends up crumbling a little bit later and killing the enemy player. So that was kind of cool. Like I said, a lot of dynamite kills. So yeah, I was definitely just gonna pull out some dynamite because again, there's only one tank I'd ever have to deal with, so it's not anything I need to worry about too much. So see that guy right over there? I tried to put another shot on him, but he was able to take me out. That one player there was doing just enough to help his teammates out and getting just enough kills on me to keep his teammates in the game. So he made some clutch kills on me throughout this whole game that was able to keep his team just enough in the game where I felt like we would have just had a momentum here to be able to push ourselves back in the game and really dominate the enemy team here. And they actually made it more of a battle because of his clutch plays. So as you can see, I see another tank, and I'm like, you know what? Let's go back to the flanker tank. This is a tank I'm used to using on this map. I like using it a lot because I'll do a lot of baiting the enemy tanks, and I'll shoot at them and then leave mines around corners for them to end up rolling around. So there's 6 mines on this, so I could just leave mines everywhere on this map. So a lot of tanks feel confident against me because every tank basically, except for the other flanker tank, is basically going to beat you against if you're going one-on-one against them, just because this tank is mainly against for infantry players. But I tried baiting that one tank right there, shooting it at it, and I end up leaving some mines right there around that turn for it to run over. But unfortunately, he doesn't take the bait. He pushes around, and it's a little bit too late anyways because they're over here capping A again. And yeah, so I figured I'd come over here, try to do just enough damage here at the last second. Just try to give my teammates a little bit of room to do something, just get them somewhere back in the game, because they did a lot of getting on the base, but you get a lot of getting onto the actual territory, but that doesn't gonna do you that much good if you're not slaying people as well. So there's got to be a fine balance between playing the objective as well as slaying people. So unfortunately, they got caught up in a little bit of that there. So I see that tank right there, and I'm throwing some mines down there on the ground, see if it's going to push me again. That's why I'm kind of maneuvering in that kind of a weird area right there. But yeah, I end up moving around over here to the edge here. I figure they're going to push down this hallway here, which they are. That's why I end up throwing some fire down that hallway, and I'm going to get some kills, which is pretty much one of the funnest things I like doing on this on this map, especially is finding these hallways, especially finding a load of players running down it and just completely just firing down the hallway, getting a bunch of kills. So I end up moving back towards my last capture point. I figured that probably the better place for me to be at would be at where my last capture point is at, figuring that I have the tank. So I end up moving back over here. I'm trying to at least stop from the pushing off the one side I see is the weakest side actually where they are pushing. And I see one guy there, and I put a spot on him, but my teammate's not able to see him. Fortunately for me, he spawns 2 other players on his team. I'm going to get a triple kill on them right there, so that was fortunate for me. Again, more of the kills and more of them being focused on me, I felt like really helped me and my team out a lot, because they end up being so focused on me, and I end up killing them so much that it helps my teammates out where they're so where they only need to be concerned about killing a few less guys than they normally would, because the rest of the enemy team is so focused on me. So as you can see there, when I went onto the screen there, I was already at like 50 kills already. So I had done some damage here already coming up here in the game, which was pretty crazy to see that. Again, it's not something too crazy, I guess, because it is a 40-minute long game, and when you play these longer games, and you have more opportunity to go kill people. So obviously, I'm sure it's nothing that special, but it's just it's always fun to go up and see yourself getting these 100+ kill games, no matter how long it is. When you have these games where you're just slaying and going crazy. So so we end up being able to hold them off and grab A pretty easily, and we end up pushing down over here to B. I end up kind of seeing that they have an artillery truck right out over here, so I try to test it a little bit, see if I can bait it, shoot it a couple times. I move back because he gets a shot on me and hide behind this wall right here. I wasn't sure if he was going to blast the wall or not, but he ends up not blasting it. He ends up actually pushing up over here. So I end up dropping some mines and moving my way around because I wasn't sure if he was going to try to chase me out here completely, but I was hoping he would. So I laid some mines. I still wanted to stay close around because he didn't push all the way. I wanted to bait him there, but unfortunately, me staying right there, an enemy player ends up coming on the side of me and throwing some dynamite. Unfortunately, I was able to move away just in time, but I had to get myself out of play. But like I had said earlier, you know, them being all focused on me allowed my teammates to just have less people to have to deal with on the territory, and that was helpful, because you'll even find that even when I'm back here, I end up getting a guy throwing grenades at me back over here. So you know, that worked out kind of nice, because he's all focused on me over here, which is fine by me, because it allows my teammates to have less people to have to deal with. And they were actually able to cap B, and we were actually able to move over here from B and end up making a charge over there to C. So we start going over here and pushing over here to C, and I'm kind of keeping in mind kind of how weird C is. Again, like, I'm so used to playing Conquest and C being on the bridge there, and I'm still not used to these very wide areas of these capture points, so it's very interesting to experience that. So yeah, basically I'm just going to try to keep the same strat that I've been doing on the last two territories, which was just put myself on the capture point and make myself the target and kind of be a bullet sponge for people as much as I can. I don't want to get myself killed as much either, so I saw that little scout class kind of making a daring move on me, trying to, I don't know what he was doing there, but I think my teammates took him out. But yeah, I didn't see their artillery truck. I'm not sure if my teammates took it out during that time. I was busy getting assaulted from that assault class and his dynamites, but I didn't see anyone there, so I ended up pushing up over here and wanted to check this side over here. Knew that was the area where the capture area ended, so I wanted to put myself back on it. I knew they're gonna be up there in that building, because that's where they were up earlier when I was trying to cap C, but I just couldn't get a good enough angle to really get any good shots in that building. But I figured they'd end up start blasting me here sooner or later. Which they do, and they end up pushing me back a little bit. But again, the strat still was able to work well enough where it kept them busy, kept them distracted, and kept them focused on me, which allowed my teammates to being able to actually, we were able to cap C over here and then make a good push over there to D. So so yeah, that was definitely helpful to pull this thing out. Again, I was trying to find the right angle here, and I'm sure there's a lot of you who know the correct angle where to be at, and to get a better angle on that. But when you're in the moment right here, this is the first time playing it, and I'm not even used to being in this type of positioning right here on this map. I had to kind of pull myself back here and re-heal myself. But fortunately, we were able to cap C over here and then make another push over there to D. So what I wanted to do when I knew, I was trying to figure out where D was going to be at exactly. When I figured out where it was going to be at, I was like, okay, I need to lay some mines in this specific spot over here, because normally that's where they're going to push their tank out. Even on Conquest, I'll lay my mines a lot of times down this hallway right over here. And the unfortunate part was they end up having like the perfect classes that they needed to be over. They had 3 assault classes, and it was just like out of every class they had to have 3 of them. So I had to deal with, you know, I have to be careful about both of these, because one of these classes can easily take me out. And so yeah, they started even throwing a bunch of grenades at me, and by the time I'm able to kill all 3 of them, it's a little bit too late, and I got the other tank on me. I'm laying mines right now, and I'm trying to like maneuver while I'm trying to actually spin around my my turret, but I just get all caught up there, get caught up against the wall, and that same guy ends up taking me out. So he was just, again, just enough to get in the right position to keep them just enough in the game here to keep it a challenge. I felt like if he would have gotten half the kills on me, it would have been just enough for us to really sweep through and have a little less of a challenge than what we did have. But yeah, he was able to have just enough, and that's all you need, is just to be at the right place at the right time, adjusting correctly, and you'll keep your teammates in the game. So unfortunately, that tank was pretty clutch for them, so they were able to hold off D, and so we have to be back over here by C, which is where I not want to be, and I am getting blasted. Again, it's strange to kind of play these areas on Frontlines, because it takes advantage of a lot of areas you're really not used to playing under. You know, I'm used to maybe playing more focused on these bridges and not having to focus more down the middle here on these tracks here. So that was kind of interesting. You know, over there by B as well too, using all those apartments and houses and all those areas that you normally wouldn't make a bigger deal about, especially on Conquest. You know, it's mainly my one. Conquest is my main game mode that I usually play, so I'm not sure that's, you know, used a lot on other game modes. I'm sure it is. So again, it's pretty interesting just to you know, use the you have these different game modes that use the different parts of the map. It kind of does make the map a lot deeper, and it's kind of, in a sense, kind of a new map in a sense. So I throw a grenade over there to try to keep that tank distracted, and he's able to push him. So he moves all the way back, and unfortunately, we're able to actually come up here and cap C. despite having this guy has a squad spawn right on him, right in front of me that takes me out. But yeah, we're actually able to over here cap C again, and we end up making a push back down towards the D, where I end up saying, okay, we gotta take this tank out here, because if we don't take this tank out, he's going to hold us down, and I definitely want to make a quality push over here towards him, which I end up doing. I end up swapping actually my my grenades over here. Usually I've been using a lot of gas grenades, or not gas grenades, smoke grenades lately. But I end up going back to what I've originally have done for the majority of the time I've spent playing BF1, which is using the light tank grenade, because this is easier to throw. So if you try to keep up behind tanks over here, you can easily lay 2 mines down really quick, and then throw that grenade as fast as you can, and you end up blowing up the mines and killing the tank as well. So that's a little strat I've always used for a while. I stopped using it since the They Shall Not Pass update came out, just because a lot of playing Fort de Vaux and getting a lot of choke points on Verdun Heights as well too. I've used been kind of developing how to use the gas grenade, or excuse me again, the smoke grenade, to give us some cover fire, which has been used pretty well lately. I've been getting kind of used to that, but when I felt like we really needed it in this game, I went back to using my light tank grenade on this mode. So by actually being able to take out that tank, was able to help my teammates get that push just enough to actually take out D here. Unfortunately, I wasn't really sure where to hold off. I saw my teammates go out over there, so I figured they're going to watch that doorway enough. I saw that guy. I had my teammate right there, but I don't think he was watching it as much as I would have liked him to watch it, because I ended up throwing some grenades here, then pushing back around, and not really realizing all my teammates had died from behind me. So fortunately, me laying down here gets myself shot in the back, and I'm like, okay, that's not cool. So I end up coming up over here and adjusting myself and figuring that if we're going to be focusing on probably we're going to be focused on E over here. I'm going to want to swap over here to my shotgun and adjust my class up here a little bit now that I don't have to deal with kind of a little bit longer range. So I figured I'll come over here, flank around again, see if we can do some damage over here. It's still kind of nice though, of being able to play this map, and even though it's on a different mode, you still know all the other turns and the flanks and different areas where you can run through. So as much as kind of a new map, because it's utilizing different areas, it's still very familiar to me. So I'm able to flank up here from behind. Figured they're gonna be up there in those rooms, so unfortunately I didn't swap over to my dynamite, which I should have done. Dynamite and smoke would have been good by now. So I come over here, and yep, there they are. They're in the corner, and I'm not sure if he gets a squad spawn on him. I think he does, and that's what ends up taking me out. So that was a little bit unfortunate. As you can see there, I'm already at the 80-some kill mark, so I've done some damage already. And yeah, that's kind of crazy to just kind of see that. Even though, like I said, I'm not sure how crazy that is. Probably not too crazy. Like I said, I've seen a lot of people do a lot of 100 kill games on operations and whatnot, but it's still fun to see yourself, have those, crazy high kill games, regardless of, if you're there for 2 hours playing a game, or playing those 200 ticket custom game modes that you can see sometimes in the servers. So yeah, you can see there I swap over to my gas grenade. I get myself killed there. And that was a little bit unfortunate, because yeah, we really need to make a push over here, and yeah, we weren't able to do it enough, and they end up pushing us back up over here again towards the D, where we have to recap D again and make hopefully another push and get ourselves back over to E, and because we're definitely a little bit still behind here, and we definitely need to get down to their last areas, because they already took one of our last areas that they needed to take. I forget what they're called. Those 2 areas, we have to activate those. I forget what that specific thing is called. That shows how much of a noob I am when it comes to Frontlines. But yeah, I don't know what those things you have to activate are, but they already took one of them out. So we need to at least get one of them, because if we don't, they're going to get a win on us. And yeah, so I'm over here. Unfortunately, I see this guy. I wasn't sure if he had ran all the way out. He pushed over right over to the right side. He gets the kill on me. So some unfortunate little things here and there came up, but yeah, I was doing everything I can to try to keep my teammates in the game and keep it from falling apart there, because we were at the last second not too long ago where they had almost finished this off if it wasn't for some clutch plays one of my teammates did, which definitely helped us out huge. So D was still pretty much a battle, and I figured that if I saw my teammates were running all the way through in that hallway there, that really the only place I had to really be more concerned about was right up here in the front. So I saw my teammates laying down fire. I changed up to my smoke grenades now. I got my dynamite up, so I throw some smoke. I do a bayonet charge all the way through, so they have really no idea I'm here. And if they do know I'm here, you know, I'm already way deep in with a shotgun, so they're gonna have a little bit of a problem over here. So fortunately I'm able to move my way inwards. The guy pushes up from the side over there, and which was a little bit unfortunate because I wanted to flank around again. And I'm not really sure. I see them on my radar. They were like right in front of me, and I was kind of confused where in front of me was at. So there I saw the guy still pushing at me over here, so I was like, you know, I gotta push in here. Here's some more dynamite kills. Again, I had so much on this game, which definitely helped. It did help having the tank as well too, the flanker tank. I did go on some good sprees on that, but definitely the dynamite was pretty clutch to have. So it's fun using that a lot more now. Usually I would be carrying anti-tank mines, but specifically for this game mode, I was like, you know what, I'm gonna use dynamite as much as I can over here. So so yeah, now we're pushing on over here. I'm gonna kind of watch this side down over here because I know I was trying to push over here multiple times, and I wasn't able to hold it off. So I figured, or I wasn't able to flank over here because they had people over here. So now that we have the position up over here, I'm gonna try to hold it off as much as I can. And then I kind of realized when it's too late. I start seeing them get on the flag, and I realize, you know what, they're pushing all the way over here on this other side. And so it's a little bit too late now, because even though I killed one guy there, they all have them. They're all starting to spawn on that one side. They're gonna start moving upstairs, which this guy gets some good shots on me, and I'm like, oh man, it was just a little bit too late for me to realize that they were all right up there on the other side. So the first thing I do right when I spawn in is I push right back onto the other side, try to flank it from around. I know they're all going to be up there. I start getting blasted. I think someone shoots me. Yeah, really quick. I'm not sure exactly where it was at, so I push myself all the way in. Just a kamikaze mission right there the last second. My teammate saves me, and I'm able to throw some dynamite and just clear out this whole room, which was clutch. Again, more dynamite kills, and fortunately that guy, my teammate gets stuff killed, but I'm able to avenge him pretty quick. Throw dynamite right there that hits that post and falls right back at me, so it kind of delays me up here a little bit, and I don't necessarily want to drop down yet, but we're able to clear it up again a little bit and make a little bit of a push here. But unfortunately, I'm still not used to the time on this mark, and as you can see there, we're counting ourselves down pretty quick, and unfortunately with only 40 seconds being left, it's still not enough. As much as we come over here and hold down E and cap B at the last second, it was just not enough for us to get ourselves back in the game. And unfortunately, they had made it farther than we did, and so unfortunately we ended up losing on this one. So that kind of sucked, but it was pretty cool regardless to at least try this map out. If you haven't tried it out yet, it is on the vanilla map, so you don't need the they shall not pass at all to play this mode, to play any of these modes on the vanilla map. So you will need, if you want to play the frontline modes on, you know, any of the new maps out, but not on Amiens or Argonne Forest. So a bit of a bummer to do all that slaying and still end up losing, but yeah, at least we got to check out the new interface they got going on over here and the new battle packs that they're doing with. That's pretty cool. I end up just completely just what I get over here. Most score, kills, kill death ratio. Yeah, that's pretty cool. 108, man, 108. It's pretty crazy. But yeah, that's basically it for you guys today. I appreciate you guys for watching and being here, and I will catch you guys again later. Peace.